say that they were only doing their job.
Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew was caught off guard during question period Tuesday after a Conservative MLA showed a, quote, complete lack of respect, unquote, towards groups of people once being denied the right to vote.
And you know what is different about people on this side of the House? The entitlement isn't there because we had to fight for what we have. It was never given to people on this side of the House. In living memory, people couldn't vote. We just heard. I want the permanent record of this assembly to show that when I was talking about the fact that my father was not allowed to vote in this country, the member for Red River North said in a sarcastic voice, wah, wah.
Gross. Kinew was speaking on new legislation his government proposed to protect vulnerable groups from getting their, quote, rights trampled on by future governments when invoking the notwithstanding clause. The notwithstanding clause allows a government to make a law that overrides certain parts of the Charter of Rights for up to 5 years. Kinew worries that future governments may use the clause to advance agendas with anti-2S LGBTQ rhetoric or that target religious minorities. MLA for Red River North Jeff Wharton is the man who mocked disenfranchisement, which impacted Indigenous people, women, and many other minorities for decades after Canada formed.
During the Premier's comments and answers to a question that he didn't answer, he had mentioned that I was making sounds towards his father not being able to vote. I disagree with that comment. And
Order, please.
I would ask the Premier at his earliest convenience to table those comments in Hansard.
Deputy Premier Uzoma Asagwara said along with the comment, Wharton also made crying gestures twice. Asagwara argued that the Premier has a responsibility to ensure Wharton's behavior is reflected in the House's permanent record.
I do want to reinforce and reiterate what's happened here today. The member for Red River North rose on a point of order to double down on making comments and gestures that degraded and minimized the recent, in living memory, history of Indigenous people being denied the right to vote in our country. And that is shameful.
It is very dehumanizing.
Cody Grote is an assistant professor of history and Indigenous studies at Western University. He says disenfranchisement was the denial of the right to engage and push back against the Canadian political system.
Inuit gained the right to vote in 1950, and again, status Indians not until 1960. There was this heated back and forth, and almost always the question was, were Indigenous peoples mature enough and were we civilized enough to be able to express our opinions and vote in the Canadian electoral system?
He says the right to vote is not something to take lightly.
I think if we don't openly denounce this comment and this rhetoric, then we're saying it is okay to laugh at the fact that Indigenous peoples, in recent memory, in the Premier's parents' generation and my grandparents' generation, didn't have the right to vote.
APTN News reached out to the Progressive Conservatives for comment, but did not hear back before airtime. Sav Jonesa, APTN National News, Winnipeg.